Welcome back to the Dax and Randy Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up? What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Dax and Randy Show. I'm your host, Dax. As always, I'm excited to have you guys back here with us for another episode of our podcast. This is episode 54, y'all.
You sure?
Is it? I said 55, but it's episode 54. Randy got me right. You know what I mean? So thank you for being here with us. We got a really great show for y'all today. A lot to talk about. But before we get into any of that, got to introduce my co-host, right? You know what I mean? My beautiful wife, my friend, my everything, ride or die. You know what I'm saying? She's looking beautiful today, radiant. You know what I'm saying? What's the word I heard last night? Earthly. You know what I'm saying? Looking earthly. But anyway, what's up, babe? How you doing?
I am Randy, the co-host of the Dax and Randy Show.
That's nice.
All the compliments, the earthy thing took me off.
I know. It took me off last night. I ain't never heard nobody describe a woman as earthly. I was like,
you know what? Remember in couples retreat?
Yeah, but what he didn't say earthly though.
Like Mother Earth or something.
Oh yeah. It was right.
What?
Mother Earth, yeah.
Something like that.
So earthly. I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But
get to that later.
Yes. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Mr.
I'm
Basden?
doing all right too.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, before we jump into this episode, y'all, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors, as always, that make it possible, right, Ben?
Yes, shout out to Basden Accounting, BASDEN Accounting LLC, the official sponsor of the Dax and Randy Show. Basden Accounting will help you with all of your business needs, especially including taxes, advisory, accounting, and payroll. We get your business straight in compliance with the IRS, different governing bodies, nonprofit, for-profit, C Corp, S Corp, single member LLC, partnerships, whatever it is, Basden Accounting has got you.
Do I need to create a data profile for this joint? I mean, am I getting my accounting done or I'm about to meet my match? You know what I'm saying? I wear sure if I had a new business and I just forgot. Like, jeez.
Hey, Basden Accounting will definitely take care of you.
It's going to take care of all my needs. Jeez.
Anyway.
Hey, that's why I like when you do the advertisements, yo.
Well,
oh, my
I'll
gosh.
Say this, if you don't have any books, you don't have a real business. And I stand beside that.
Yeah, that's 100% true. You got to be working, calling it a business, but you're just working. Don't know if you're making no money or not. Don't know why it hasn't got better in 5 years. Because you ain't got no data. You ain't got no financials. You ain't got no books. You ain't reconciling. You don't know what's happening.
Speaking of books,
okay,
I sent you a text message, and I told you how much we grossed in 2024, and you did not even respond.
I didn't?
No.
Oh. Well, I apologize.
Yeah.
It was good. You know what? I looked at it, and the funny thing is like I was like, that's what's up, but I just didn't say anything. I don't know why. I apologize for that. See, most money we ever made in a year. I should have said something.
Yeah.
That's okay. I apologize. But we need to have a planning meeting for the year.
All right.
Where we look at the financials, like everything that we do with our clients. We need to see where we're going. You know what I mean? 2025 is about to be investing season part 2 for us. If you've been following our podcast since the beginning, you're seeing the growth in us. You know what I mean? You're seeing where we're going from the way we had our services priced to the way we changed our services. We're growing more clients, less clients, better technology. Like if y'all have been here since episode 1, you could really sit there and be like, man, Dax and Randy really have grown and did some stuff in 2024. And we talked about that throughout the year, but definitely in our investing season part 1, which y'all just need to go follow us because I can't tell you exactly what episode it is, but you need to go follow us. But it's investing season part 2 because in 2025, we trying to do some real big things. You know what I'm saying? Individually, we're trying to do big things. As a couple, we're trying to do big things. Business partners. Our child's going to be in university. You know what I mean? We're planning for our future wealth. You know what I mean? Insurances and making sure that we got a plan in place in case anything ever happened to any of us. You know what I mean? But even more important than all of that, next year we're really going for it next. You know what I'm saying? With that stated, y'all, the first thing we want to talk to you guys about is like, how do you make them big jumps in your business or in your life, period? There's going to be some type of sacrifice. There's got to be some type of investment. You know what I mean? You got to make yourself uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You got to do some things that you weren't doing before so you could get some different results. You know what I mean? So we can start off with Randy, you know what I mean? Because Randy is trailblazing this thing. I want her to give y'all the quick update because Randy is a super mother, a wife, a friend, businesswoman. She a strong black woman. You know what I'm saying? She a strong black woman. You know what I mean? She a soccer team manager. She a podcaster. She's so many things. And we've been trying to figure out what's the right way to show everybody what you are. You know what I mean? And we do it through the podcast, but separate from me. You know what I mean? I know I add to your greatness, of course.
Of course, I couldn't do anything without
But
you.
Randy on her end is a star. You know what I'm saying? And we want that star to shine bright for everybody. You know what I mean? The same way I've been benefiting from Randy, I want y'all to benefit from it too. So what's the update on what's going on with you in your 2025? You know what I'm saying? Your investment.
Yeah, I found a branding coach or branding strategist, whatever. I don't even know what her position is, but she's going to help me get it together. So yeah, so the thing is, I have been looking for a while. Like I look online and I go on Fiverr, I go on Instagram, Facebook, and everything seems like so cookie cutter. Oh, join my program. And that's not really what I was looking for. I was looking for like one-on-one coaching. I don't mind joining a program, but like I know all the things that I can do. How do I package that and who am I packaging it to? And who am I helping and what am I selling? Like I just need help with all of it. So anyway, I found somebody actually on TikTok. And I always look at like when I work with somebody, I always look at how I found them or how they found me. Because I'm like, if you can get me as a client, because I feel like I'm a hard client to get because I don't trust anybody. But something she said on TikTok made me curious. So I went to her Instagram and I was like, all right, cool. You know, it's all right. But she DM'd me. And that started, this is the second time somebody done got my business from a DM. So it started a conversation and she was asking me different questions and then we set up a call and I liked what she had to say. And she was just saying, you see yourself as like doing a whole lot in all these separate things. But she's like, I see you as a woman who left corporate America in 2021, a mom of 4. And yes, you do help other people. You do have, different businesses on the side, but you yourself are a brand just based on your story. And we haven't like worked on the story or anything, but these are just this was just one idea that she was coming up with as to how she sees me based on what I've said. Cause I see myself split up into all these different roles. She like, nah, you are Randy, wife, entrepreneur. And then the business is like, that's something that you do on the side, but your story
is
bigger than that. And she was like, I really want to, I work with you. And the good thing is that with the consultation, you can see that she's passionate about what she does. So I'm excited. Made the investment yesterday to work with her. We'll see. I mean, I'm excited though, because she sees me in a different light. Like I know you see me a certain way. She see me a certain way now that she knows more about me. But the one thing that I like about the program is that it has like, it's not just about branding, it's about mindset coaching too. So I just won't be working with her, it's other coaches as well. And I told her off the break, I need help with the mindset thing because my mind, it just won't let me conceive certain ideas. Like I can't see myself the way other people see me. And I guess I'm not supposed to.
I'm not surprised. We had that conversation.
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I'm glad, and I know you're just kind of starting it out, but at the same time, you are bigger than what you're doing already. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really think about who Randy is from my perspective, and I'll just sum it up like this. You're a woman that pretty much put herself through school, had a kid young, you know what I'm saying? Grew up while having a child, you know what I mean? Was a single mother for a long time And while all of that was going on, you was growing your accounting career, working in like property management, construction accounting. You know what I'm saying? Getting your skill set over time, taxes, a lot of things you was doing on your end, taking care of your car, like taking care of your own place. Like you had your own house young. You know what I mean? Like you always been like a boss in a way, in my opinion. And then fast forward, you've been able to transition that to being a wife, being a mother of 4 kids, leaving corporate America years ago. You know what I mean? What, 3 years now, or whatever. Standing up a successful business, standing up a team underneath you to help you grow your business. You know what I'm saying? Like you did a lot. You started your own podcast. You know what I mean? And you can inspire a lot of people by showing them where you came from to where you are now and how you did it. And one thing I love is that, especially I've said it a lot on the podcast, but you've been the first one to recognize how like other people can make you better. Even if you know something, you might know it at like a B+ level. It's okay to be like, yo, no, I'm gonna get this person to come in that's really gonna focus on me and bring their expertise. We don't gotta learn everything. Hire good people. Like one thing my grandpa told me when I was young, he was like, yo, always look to hire the best and fire the worst. When I was young, I thought he was crazy. Like, it ain't that simple in business, but sometimes it is. Like, hire some really good people. See how your business changes when you got strong people working for you. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you had your own tax job separately. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know if you want me to say it, but no, I won't. But you had your own separate tax job in addition to the business. You know what I mean? Where like when people want to get the taxes done on their own, they actually can call somebody and get help with it. And you're one of the people. You're one of the people that pick the phone up. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all the things you did. Like you raised a kid that's now 20 years old, going to school, been raised and been making her own money since like 14. Like a lot of that is the influence that you had seeing a mother like you. You know what I'm saying? She's on the same path kinda as you, as like self-sufficient, got her own car, making her own money, don't really need no dude. Like it's like watching you be created again. Like that's the impact you had. And really you're just getting started. You're really
It-
just getting started. You can inspire a lot of women, man. Serious.
well, I had a vision back in 2007
Mm-hmm.
when I was at my apartment, and I was like on a stage in front of a huge crowd. So I remember that. And then last year,
You told me this before?
I
No.
don't think I've ever told you this. No.
Nah, I'm not I don't think
No, it
so.
was somebody gave me a Bible.
Okay.
Um, and I just remember he gave me a Bible and I started reading it and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, during this time, '07, I was in my apartment, and this is when I had this vision. And I always kept that in the back of my mind, like, huh, that
Mm-hmm.
was interesting. And then last year I had a dream where I had this huge, I don't know if it was a podcast studio, but there was a place for recording, and there was like a huge team around me. But when we were on our call, when I was talking to the coach, she was like, yeah, she was like, I see you doing speaking engagements. So it kind of like, I kind of flashed back to '07 when I had the vision of me on a stage in front of a huge crowd. So yeah, I was just like, is this one of those things? Because
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that God speaks to me through visions and dreams.
Yeah.
But I also was gifted a book on that too.
Okay.
Because sometimes my mind, I'd be having a hard time conceiving, like, Lord, you would really show me this, you would really show me this. So it just had me thinking about what I've seen in the past. And
Mm-hmm.
is this the moment? Because the thing is, though, even with her offer and the price point, I had so much peace with moving forward. Now,
Mm-hmm.
not gonna lie, like it's an investment in it. It made me sweat. Like,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it ain't.
it's how much to work with you, but it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes from God, there's just a peace with it.
Mm.
And I feel very just peaceful and confident that this is it.
That's what's up.
I didn't have any dreams or visions about working
Nah,
with her.
but the same thing though. Everything you just said, we gotta go watch that happen for us. We gotta watch that happen for you. Just like you said, we can talk about it on the podcast too. But like, you are gonna be in front of a whole bunch of people. Like what you dreamed, that's gonna happen. We gonna claim that. You will be there. We don't know what date, we don't know what event or whatever, but I promise you, I'm gonna be there while I'm holding your book or whatever it is, and it's gonna be a whole lot of people that's there just to see you and be impacted by you, and they're all gonna be part of this community that you created. I could feel it. We're gonna see that's gonna happen. That is gonna happen. Claim that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, the other thing that you said real quick, when it comes to, this investment you made, first off, it weren't cheap. It was not cheap at all. You know what I mean? But one thing that you said, which was interesting, was certain programs that seem like little cookie cutter or whatever. And it ain't nothing wrong with going online and I got a 5-step program to do something, or a 10-step program, or they want you to buy the course or not. Like, that's all really, really good stuff, right? But sometimes you do need more than that. And with the mindset thing, I used to see people selling things on mindset, and I didn't really used to buy into it because I always want to see, like, all right, on top of the mindset, what tactically are you teaching me to do? Like, what are you actually doing? So what I do like about what she presented from what I saw, it's a combination of both. She's not just sitting there gassing you, at least from the way she presented it, like, we're going to change your mindset, change how you think, yada, yada. Okay, and then what? Like, what is the tangible things you can show me how to grow my social media? Are you going to create things for me? Like, I'm like, all right, just doing some actual tangible stuff than just selling you thought changes or affirmations. Like, all of that stuff is great, but I always wanted it to be packaged around something quote unquote real or tangible, like task based. And I like that her thing was laid out with some task in it, which is dope, and some measuring points.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
she's investing in her business, because if you have different coaches working with you, like, you have to pay these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're taking the time to invest in your business as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that, to me, that says a lot. Like, no, because some people, they just want you to work with them. They
Mhm.
take all the money,
But that
overhead is
ain't it.
low.
Right. Her brand is on the line too with you.
Exactly.
Now, when you said, something's a little cookie cutter, like, sometimes when you got to call in for your phone, or you got to call in for a bill or some service or payroll, whatever the case may be, when you call in and you got to select number 2 to get to this department, then you got to select 5. And every time you call, somebody different picks up the phone. So you're like part of supporting a company or organization, but it's like service based. Like, what do you need? And you talk to anybody. But it always feels different when you call a company and you call that specific person that's always there just for you.
Right.
They know your business, they know your situation. They're like your resource. With her, I think when you said that, I was thinking like, she's working with you. So you're not just connecting with a program, you're connecting with a person. Like, you're working with the person. You see what I'm saying? Which I think is going to be really, really good for you.
Yeah.
The person that I know, the Randy that I know,
Yeah.
having a person that you talk to, a consistent voice, you know what I'm saying? A consistent connection that you could talk to, have your tough moments with, have your challenges with, and you're not just sitting there looking through all these pamphlets or charts trying to make something happen on your end.
Yeah, because
Like, you need more than that.
I get stuck too. Like, people be like, "Oh, find your passion. What is it that you're good at?" Okay, cool. I'm
Mhm.
amazing at taxes. I can teach you how to do taxes. But the thing is, like, I don't really necessarily want to. I mean, maybe I will market that, but I'm more than that. Like, I don't want to focus on just that. And I kind of feel like that's the place where I get stuck. Like, yes, okay, I could teach taxes. I don't need more tax clients.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's interesting. That's
Mhm.
all I can say. It's interesting. And like you said, I think the cookie cutter programs, like, that's cool, but I definitely need something more. And I
Mhm.
had seen on the internet that I was listening to this podcast, and the guy was saying that when you pay like high ticket and when you pay for coaching, you also pay for speed. Like, that's the one thing that you
Mhm.
get. So yeah, you can do this 12-week course,
Right,
but with the
right.
one-on-one coaching, you get speed. It's accelerated.
Mhm.
So I thought about that too. Like, you know what? What am I waiting for?
Mhm.
I've been afraid, confused for a while now about what to do, and I have the money to do it. Well, the
Mhm.
business does, even if I don't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. But listen, yo, we do talk about, if you're just listening to our podcast for the first time, we talk about the ups and downs of life, the good and the bad. We be real about everything. So what Randy's doing, investing in her own brand, you know what I mean? It's a big financial investment. We talked to you guys about a lot of good things that we heard from this person we're going to work with. Hopefully, you know, it comes to fruition. You know what I mean? But it's also a negative side to things. It's also a potential challenge to things. We gonna get y'all the real on that too, because this conversation with me and Randy about this wasn't all positive. It was some concerns there. And if you got a true friend, a true partner, they give you both sides of things when you're making decisions. They don't just say, "Oh, that sounds good. Let's go grow your followers." Da, da, da. They gotta be real with you and be like, "Is this a good decision to make?" You know what I mean? Are we going to commit to it? One thing about that acceleration thing, what happens when you're paying somebody to help accelerate something for you? Well, the other side of it is that you actually have to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's an accountability thing. So a lot of y'all that are out there, you want to grow your business or you want to do certain things, but you got to put in the work. And when you don't work with other people, the only person sometimes that's checking you to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do to grow is you. So if you're not consistent, it just don't happen. But if you got a partner or you got somebody that's invested in you or something like that, they're gonna come behind you and be like, nah, you're not on track. You gotta do this, you gotta do that. That's the accountability part. When we talked about this, and I'm being real about it, Randa's my wife, my business partner, but she has flaws. I got flaws. And I'm like, can you really commit to this? Are you really going to do the work? Because then if not, y'all know what it's like. You spend money on that expensive exercise machine, and then 6 months later, you're trying to sell the joint out your basement because you don't use it. These tools and things are great, but if we don't use them, it's a waste. So I'm like, I'm looking at Randy and I'm like, wow, first off, thank the Lord for this. This was a blessing that I said I didn't realize it till now, but I looked at Randy and I was like, you know, let's say this thing doesn't work at all and all the money is lost. I was like, we'll be all right. Thank the Lord for that. It don't mean we rich. We're not rich. But I was like, ain't that a blessing where we can try something like this and we're not in a state that if it don't work, we might not be able to pay the rent or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, we don't have rent, but I'm just saying. Like, we was like, you know what? We could try it. That's the other side of us growing our business. Like when we're doing things, we don't know what it's gonna give us opportunities to do next. So we changed our business around, making more money in the business. So now you want to grow your brand, we could take a shot on things. We could take a risk. Let's try. But if it don't work, we're gonna be all right.
Try again.
We'll try again. You know what I'm saying? So that made me feel good. But I told Randy, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing you start things that you ain't finished in the past. You know, so what does this mean, y'all? I want to give y'all some advice. You want to make a big decision in your life. You want to take on something new. It's a great idea. You want to go start selling this, or you want to work with this coach and yada yada. Do a little self-assessment first. Do a true self-assessment of what you are already responsible for. Like, what does your world already look like? Because when you make these decisions, you're introducing something new into your world, and you can't just do that off a feeling. You need to know factually, is there room for this thing? So what we did, we sat down, I started drawing it out, and then I put it in PowerPoint. We created Randy's World, put Randy's World in the middle, put a little picture of the world underneath it, put a little artistic thing into it. You know what I'm saying? And then we kind of flood out everything that she's responsible for. And yo, if you do this exercise and you get things from the inside out, you'll realize like, dang, that's why I be stressed. That's why I be tired. That's why I be frustrated with people. That's why I can't stick to certain things like I said I would, because you don't realize just how much is on your plate, how much you're responsible for, or you have to support. So when we started writing it down, we might have ended up with like 20 something things that's already in Randy's world before she's trying to add this new thing to her world. I'll say a couple things. I don't know if you remember, but I know health was one of them, working out. You want time for the Lord, managing your tax business. You know what I mean? Working through your tax job was one of them. Our advisory clients, managing that was one of them. Doing taxes within our firm was one of them. Taking care of our youngest son who has some special needs was one of them. The fact that you want to be more cook and more active in the household was one of them. We want to be fit. We want to be in shape. That's one of them. We got a kid that's about to start university, and we're the lucky winners of paying for it. That was one of them. You know what I'm saying? What else? We got tax season coming up and it's about to be real, real busy. That was one of them. Of course, we still want to go out on dates, have some time with each other. That was one of them. What else? What am I forgetting? I mean, it was a lot of stuff.
That's most of it, though.
It was a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there like, okay. And on top of that, Basden Accounting, our sponsors, our business, we want to grow that. We want to grow the advisory side of it. Like all of these things. And we're like, oh, the other thing we put on the list, the wealth planning work that we're doing that I talked about. Investing. You know what I mean? We'll talk about that more in a second. But we're sitting there and we're like, look around this world already. Okay. Then we added to your world what we want to be able to do. So we're looking at this sheet and there's so much stuff on it. And y'all will be like, well, all right, now I'm put all my problems on the sheet. What the hell do I do with that? Well, I'm going to tell you. The first thing we did after that is we looked at each other and we was like, where on this list do you have some help, a resource already? And then we went through the list again. And if we had help, we put a check mark next to it and we put that person's name. So some of the business stuff, check mark my name. Some of the business stuff, check mark the team's name. Some of the personal stuff had me on it or somebody else. And then you was able to look at it more and be like, well, it is a lot of stuff on here. But if I can rely on some other people in my life to step it up a little bit, because it's always teamwork, make the dream work. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe I can do this. Took it a step further to be like, well, when are some of these items most prevalent? Taxes, that's a specific window. Your job, that's a specific window. Growing the advisory. When should we start really focusing on that? What month?
Right.
Like we were able to make more strategic and informed decisions by having the whole world in front of us to look at and break it down. I'm gonna do that for myself.
You should. And I like that looking at all that stuff, I can see, all right, if something's happening and I find myself overwhelmed, I'm gonna have to give up my seasonal part-time.
Yeah, you talked about that.
So like I'd be willing to give that up.
But we can work that you don't have to.
Yeah. I don't want to because I really love that job.
But I think we got a clear picture of like what's going on and what we're adding and what what we need to do if you're overwhelmed.
Well, it's going to be an extreme season of focus.
Oh yeah.
And I've already thought about like, you know what? I'm coming off social media because we're doing this soft 75 thing with our niece.
When we starting that?
I think it's like January 6th, 7th, something like that.
All right, let them know what's the soft 75 because we're about accountability. So
you got to hand me my phone because
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we sacrificing some things. So the soft 75 is some program. I've heard of it before, but
and y'all listen. If y'all listen to this, you could do this with us, man. Hear me? Drop your information. Leave comments on the episode. Like we got to be serious. Like we got to invest in ourselves for 2025. Like now's the time to really invest in yourself. Take care of yourself. So if you want to do this challenge with us, do it with us. Randy about to give you the rules. You could do it at him. Leave comments on how y'all doing. We gonna need some inspiration. Yeah. So what is it?
Okay, so number one, you eat well and only drink on social occasions for 75 days. So I'm not gonna drink it all for 75 days. I'm just gonna eliminate that.
Yeah.
Train for 45 minutes every day for 75 days, taking 1 day a week as active recovery. So you get one rest day, but you have to work out for 45 minutes.
That's gonna be challenging. The everyday part, that's going to be challenging.
Drink 3 liters of water every day for 75 days and then read 10 pages of any book every day for 75 days.
That's going to be the hardest for me.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I read a book.
Yeah. So
that I didn't have to read.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wonder what book I should get. I need something to help with my mindset. You know what I mean? Can I get that back real quick? Thank you so much. But yeah, hey, Soft 75. We starting it on what date? Do we agree?
January 6th or 7th.
January 6th. Okay.
It's up to our niece. It's her.
All right. Well, as soon as she says we're ready to go, we can rock on that. And we can get y'all updates. But if you come on and we're not letting y'all know about the weight we lost, so if you look at us, we'll drop the video of the podcast and you're like, well, he still looks the same level of chubby that he did in episode 20, then we ain't doing our job. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to do this Source 75. We're excited about it. Randy, I'm excited about you and the investment you're making in yourself. We support you.
Thank you for supporting me.
Of course.
And I didn't do it behind your back.
You didn't have to. That's the growth on the podcast. You didn't have to. Early in the first season, you had to be sneaky.
Yeah.
Episode 1 will let you know where we'll come from because Randy was lying back then.
No, I wasn't lying.
Withholding truth.
I was withholding truth. Is that the same as lying?
I mean, y'all could check out episode 1. We ain't about to recap it. Y'all just go check out episode 1 before it gets spicy in here.
But it worked out in the end.
It did.
Yeah.
But don't it feel better doing it together?
Yeah.
Don't you feel more prepared?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed to have you as a husband.
Yeah. You know, like when couples have differences or people don't get on the same page, you kind of go off sometimes, be like, all right, I'm going to show her. Or I'm going to show him. I'm going to go get this done on my end and be able to come back and quote unquote win and show like, hey, you was wrong and I was right. And that does feel good sometimes, but it doesn't feel as good as just doing it together. You know what I'm saying? When you really love somebody, it always feels better doing something with them and feeling the love and going through the ups and downs with it together than just doing it on your own and coming back and being like, see, like that kind of gratification, it lasts for a very short moment. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me say this too. Let me go off on a tangent for a second.
Go ahead.
It's very important to pour into yourself. So even when you think about like things that you want to get better at, like how would you ever do it if you don't talk to a professional? And I feel like it works both ways because like even for our business, like people thrive once they work with us. It's not cheap, but we have so much to offer and we can help businesses. Like we have helped businesses in so many ways. Even just the simple thing like, oh, like the lowest level, oh, I can see my numbers now. I can pull a report and see how much money came in and how much money went out. Like that is huge. And that's low level for us. So I just, just thinking about it and the benefit of working with professionals and coaches, it'll just change your life. And if you're listening to this, let me tell you this. When you work with a professional, no matter what it is that you're trying to do, please do not be talking to everybody around you. Because I can promise you that most of the people have not gone to the level that you're about to go to. So when you say, oh, I want to work with this person, the price point is $1,000, $2,000, $10,000. They're going to be like, oh, nah, you can go to YouTube University, which you can. But, mindsets have got to shift.
You know what? But hey, you know what? But you know what though? And nothing wrong with that. But like, if you think about it, right? A lot of times you got to be like, well, who am I taking my advice from? You know what I'm saying? So right now you're listening to us and be like, well, who am I taking this advice from to get through these ups and downs in life and my business and my relationship or whatever? Like, who am I taking this advice from? Well, you're taking it from 2 successful professionals, 2 successful business owners, people that's been married for almost 10 years, people that have 4 kids from the range of 20 all the way down to 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? People that's paid and gotten themselves completely out of debt. People that's had someone in the family working a full-time corporate job and been able to leave it successfully for 3 years. People that sat there and taking care of family members that have mental illness, help them to get their life back on track. Like, that's who you're taking your advice from today. I suggest y'all take a couple of these gems that we're leaving for y'all. Now, if we were sitting here talking about medical stuff or whatever, then y'all need to click off us because that's not our expertise. That's not our life. That's not what we did. But it's okay to take this advice from people that's did it, that's been there. Now, what happens with your example with people saying like, oh, you could go on YouTube or whatever, and you tell them, hey, I want to work with this coach and it's $5,000. And the first thing they're like, that's crazy. You could just go on YouTube and do this, or you could just go sign up for this thing. My ace girl, my girlfriend did this. Everybody be having all this advice about how your idea is crazy. But if you look at them, they're not even doing as good as you. They ain't did that. So they'll tell you to go do something else, but it's not like they became mad successful doing it that cheaper way. They just heard from somebody or something. Like people be hearing things and like sharing it as if it's like gospel like. But unless you did it yourself, you don't know what you're talking about for real. It's just something that you heard that you're repeating. And we all know how dangerous that is because if y'all had a good childhood, I pray to God that you did, everybody's played the telephone game. Everybody knows what it's like to have 10 people in a circle and you tell one person one thing, and by the time it gets to the end, back to them, it's trash. It's not accurate anymore. Why does that happen? Because people hear sometimes what they want to hear, and they be saying what they want to say. People don't be listening. People don't be focusing. and then they go off of what they think they heard and they share it with the next person. So you got to think about that when you're going through your life and taking advice from people. Like, how watered down is it? How close is this person that's giving me the advice to the source? So like Randy can give you advice about taxes because she does taxes. So it's a direct link to the expertise. You know what I'm saying? Now, if she had a sister or a friend that was a tax expert that told her all of this stuff, well, that's cool. But you're not getting your advice from the direct link. You're getting it through an intermediary. It might be watered down. It might have some inaccuracies in it. You see what I'm saying? But people be like, oh, I heard this. I'm going to just run with it. And people be running with a whole bunch of 70, 80% accurate information or watered down information.
Don't get me started on the inaccuracy.
Check your sources. Listen, y'all, if y'all really want to do something, check your sources.
Talk to us.
Serious. Check your sources with everything. Remember this. It sounds simple. I'm listening to Dex today. He talking about the telephone game. Yes. Let that burn in your brain. Live your life like that. That it's you're part of a big old telephone game every day of your life. When you hang out with your friends and they tell you something, you hang out with your cousin, they tell you something, it's all part of a telephone game. They either started the call themselves and the information is coming directly from them, directly from their expertise, directly from their experience, or it's coming from something else that they saw or heard over time. So that's why you really can't care too much about what somebody says, especially if they're not the direct source of the information. You know what I'm saying? But we do it all the time. We do it with even our health. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't want to go to the doctor because grandma's cousin's friend said they can drink some miracle tea. But you don't, like, she's not the source. You see what I'm saying? So you could do that. But is she the source? I like that we're plugging into the sources. Y'all need to plug into this source because we know what we're talking about. And everything that we share with y'all, we do it directly. And if we don't, we let you know. And we want to get the advice from you for the things that we don't do. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, check your sources who's giving you that advice and make sure it's the first person in the telephone game and not the sixth person down the line. And if it is, just know that you might need to go fact check that stuff yourself. You know what I'm saying? But people love to do that, especially when money's involved.
Mm-hmm. But like when I think about it, what did we actually sacrifice? And it's like that for a lot of purchases. Like we just purchased the calendar, right?
I mean,
a
you
digital
might
calendar.
want to break it down because these people hear a calendar, like, oh, they dropped $40 or something, $30. Why are they talking about that?
Well, we just purchased a digital calendar. It was like
$500 for a calendar
to help get our lives together.
Mm-hmm. Investing season part 2.
Investing season, but it's important because for me, visual. So it's actually different levels to it. So it's not just a calendar, but the digital calendar. Like when I think about things and when I make major purchases, I want it to be aesthetically pleasing and I want it to be beneficial to everybody. So when I look at it, like if I'm gonna spend $300 for whatever, then why not upgrade and spend $500 for something that I really, really like?
Mm-hmm.
So like the color is important. You may not agree, but whatever. But also the user friendliness of it. So right now we currently have an app that Dexter, I, and Mariah use, but it's an app on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to make this next season go right or to plan for it effectively, we need a calendar that everybody can see because we have like Caleb has piano lessons. Christian has soccer and basketball. Kobe has speech therapy, might be going to school. Like we need to organize meals, meal planning. We're getting ready to start back Saturday morning chores. So this calendar can do all these things in a digital way. And in the past, we've had, regular paper calendars on the wall, but we got to take our organization to another level as well. So yeah, we dropped $500 on the calendar. And but when I think about what is $500, that's my birthday dinner. Like
somebody's listening to you right now saying you mad crazy for dropping $500 on the calendar. But I like what you said because listen, yo, like tying it back to what we talked about a little while ago, but we had this great session of flowing out Randy's world and everything that she's responsible for and what she was adding to it. And then we talked about how we flagged on it, what help she has and who is helping. And all right, so we got this like I will call it like an impact assessment. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's your world, here's how it's changing, here's what we think the impacts are and who can help out. All right, that's cool. That still isn't a plan to do anything. That's just awareness.
Identification.
Now we got to go forward and do something from an execution standpoint that it doesn't fail. So, like, if I'm on one of those items as your helper, how am I helping you? When am I helping you? What day? What am I helping you with specifically? Like, it has to become real. And because we, especially for y'all that's got families, no matter what you think, it could be your business, your thing. Your wife don't like it. She says it's your thing. You do in the garage. Ain't nothing your thing when you're married. Guaranteed, it's not your thing. If it is your thing when you're in, there's separation. But if you're doing it the right way, every decision you make impacts your spouse, your family. That's just part of being in the family. You literally can't do nothing without it impacting somebody else. That's a decision you make when you have a family, whether it's a wife or kids. It impacts other people. So you have other things around you that have to fit and work together for you to reach your goals. It becomes harder. So the organization part is very important, and the accountability part is very important too. So you think about all of that and how much we're risking in regards to this investing season part 2 in our 2025. Randy's got her brand that she wants to grow, and she's got 20 plus things that she's already responsible for. I haven't even did mine. I coach. I got 2 businesses. I got my full-time job. I got a team that I got to manage. I'm trying to get in shape. I'm trying to spend more time with my kids. I'm trying to do things for myself as a man, hang out with my friends a little more. Like, I'm whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even created my list yet. Where does all of this go? We need this calendar. Now the $500 price point, it's expensive, but it's probably not really expensive for how much we need it for. We need that calendar to be able to go in there, make it visual, get it out of the cell phone, put it right there in the house, nice and big. What was it? Big 21-inch monitor or whatever.
And Caleb will manage it.
And and everybody fits in. Look. Everything we got to do, we're gonna fit it in right there and make it visual for everybody.
The whole family.
And that's how we're gonna work together. Because guess what, y'all, a lot of y'all gonna make this mistake. You go into 2025 and you create a plan, and a plan is great, but the execution part y'all gonna mess up on because you haven't put it in a space where you can track if you're truly executing against it or not. And if you're not, is anybody even there to check you? If the answer is no, then it's all on you, and your behavior has to change this next year in a way that it didn't in the past, and that's risky. But we put it all on the calendar. Randy's got it. My kids have got it. Everybody's looking on there. Oh, Daddy's supposed to work out today. Oh, Daddy's supposed to be helping Mommy out with this. Oh, Daddy's away, but Mama's supposed to get help with this. Maybe I can help with it. Oh, we got piano. Like all that stuff, it allows us to help each other out when we need a little slack, because plans get adjusted and life happens. So everything's not going to go exactly how you planned it, but we have to be able to see it and be able to react to it, and everybody be on the same page. You know what I'm saying?
And it helps the kids too, because they know everything that's going on, and you're actually training them up.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's a good point, because they can actually, your kids be looking at you like superheroes, which is great. But a lot of times your kids older, they love you. They just sit there waiting for you to do something for them. And that's just the nature of being a kid. But this is going to, I know, bring awareness to them of just how much it takes to run a household. And it's good for them to learn that. It's good for them to be a part of that, to see what it really takes to create and maintain this life that they're having. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't even thought about that, but it's no way that they won't see it, because they'll see every day just how much stuff is on there that has to get done, and they'll have a broader view of like the household. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the place you come and ask for chips and sit down and watch TV.
Right.
You'll start to connect like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And thank God your mom is doing so much better.
I'm telling you, it's like perfect time.
Yes. Now
and we pray that it continues. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like perfect time for that. So, we investing in, Randy's investing in her brand. We're investing in the family. We're investing in our organization, getting this calendar. You know what I mean? I'm going to be investing more in myself and my fitness, but more, I would say, in also my coaching. And I want this year to be able to maximize what I bring to the business. That's my thing. So up until now, as much as we've grown, I could say that the impact that I could have to the business, I haven't maximized it. When I have these little pockets where I have a lot of time on my hands, I always do something grand that makes our business a lot better, but I'm not consistent with it. So,
but I got to give you some credit, because you have been a lot more consistent
this year.
Fourth quarter.
Okay.
Third.
Yeah, I say
Third.
around September.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what did it though? That one meeting that we went to in person.
Oh,
It changed everything.
yeah.
It changed everything. I don't know how much you want to talk about that. We don't have to.
We talked about it before.
Oh, we did.
I don't remember the episode though.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we did it or not. So there you go.
Yeah.
But we had this one client meeting that we had to do in person, and this client wanted so much more than we had ever did for this client before. And me and Randy drove him, and it was like one of their moments where it was like, yeah, we gotta tighten up some things.
Yeah, but we did though.
But we did,
and
now we ready.
We ready.
Now we ready. Other thing in investor season, we first off, we always thank God for these things. We acknowledge the things that we do and the successes and everything, but we always try to give the credit for where it really comes from, because we don't do nothing without God and without Him being in the background, but also in the forefront, just being the ultimate chess player and just moving things around for us and creating opportunities and things that we never saw coming, and giving us these gifts that we have and giving us everything that is in our lives. And He's just always there maneuvering and making things happen in a way that we could never understand or see. You know what I mean? So we thank Him for that. But I say that because as we get ready for next year, we had the blessing. We hired a new team member. We got a new accountant starting in January. I'm excited about that. Like, I met this girl in school, man. You know what I mean? I used to be a time I was in school asking her for the answers on her test and all that. And now here we are with a successful business, and we're hiring again. You know what I mean? And we have plenty of work for this person to come in and do. We're actually hiring 2 people. You know, we're going to have our first intern, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? We're actually going to have an intern. Like, yo, when I graduated university, like like my sophomore year, I started an internship with an accounting firm. I had always did like construction my whole life in Thailand with my grandpa and my daddy. When I got into my sophomore year, I got my first internship with an accounting firm. I learned so much about business and how to work in like a corporate environment, and learning a bit of accounting and learning about risk and controls and stuff. And this is me at like 20, 21 years old. I never thought that I would have my own business that could give somebody an internship. That's a blessing. That's what we're doing. We got somebody that's going to be in college, getting their first, I would say, accounting, finance type experience, job experience with us. Me and you. That's what we're doing now. That's crazy. But that's also dope. That's how we could give back to these experiences that we had. I wouldn't even be here if I didn't have the internship that I got when I was in school. And now I'm giving somebody else an intern, which is dope. Our very first time doing this, y'all. So we investing not just in our business, but we're investing in people, in the future young people too. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if everybody's doing their part, who knows the kind of impact that you could have across the whole world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we starting to be a part of that, which is dope. But yeah, we got a new accountant starting. He gonna be busy because we jumping right into year end. But he starts in January, and we're excited to have him and watch our business grow and our team grow.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
I
investing in
like
that.
the experience that he brings. Like, it's nice hiring people
that know what they
that
doing.
know what they doing.
Yes. Yes, yo, listen, man, we've been through so much stuff, but like, and we're not knocking this, but for all of y'all that are there hiring these projects, and I say people as projects, we're all a project, but you're hiring that person that don't really got the skills, but you know that they're a good person, and you knew them from back in the day. So now you're gonna give them an opportunity, and you're gonna train them, and this is beautiful stuff. Always hire your people, but just know what you're doing while hiring your people. When you hire somebody that don't have the skills, you automatically take on more work for yourself. If you're willing to do that, fine. But when you hire people that have the skills, they bring the benefit to you versus you just being a benefit to them. You know what I'm saying? So with our intern, we're going to be a benefit to them. It's an investment we're making. They're going to need to learn a lot from us. We're going to be giving them more than anything they're going to give us. But that's what an internship is for. Great.
That's the position.
That's the
role.
position.
Yeah.
But that ain't for everybody.
Right.
Everybody on your team can't be somebody that's leveling up because you gave them a shot. If that's the case, by the time they level up, you're tired. You're worn out. Your business is going 3-4 years of mediocrity because you was waiting for everybody to get up to speed. Like, nah. And that works if anything, like the acceleration point, like you said,
If you think about it, once we hired our operations manager,
took off.
yeah.
Everything took off. Took off. Like rocket.
And
Took
she's
off.
still learning, but she
But
came with skills.
and the skills we needed.
And since she's been here, when she came, September?
August. I want to say August.
The end of August.
Mhm.
The end of August. We're now hiring 2 more people.
2 more people. And we got more clients too.
Obtain more clients. Yeah.
Mhm.
It
And some of our existing clients want more from us.
Yeah. It just left us time to like be creative, like to actually get in our own flow and do the stuff that we're good at.
Well, everything connects. That's what people need to understand. Everything connects. That's why you can invest in your brand right now.
Exactly, because I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it 6 months ago. Impossible. Impossible. You couldn't do it. And that's why all this advice we're giving makes sense, because you got to flow it out to yourself. Write it down. What's in my world right now? What do I have help with? What don't I have help with? What is that impact? If I do have help, what does that look like? How much do I need? When do I need it? And then you start really seeing what your true bandwidth is, or availability, or whatever word you want to call it, to bring more things into your life. Don't just do it off of feeling like, oh, I want this. This sounds great. Bring it into your life. And you do it for a little bit. You can't sustain it. Or you actually get it done, but you suffocate other things in your life that meant a lot to you, whether that's family or other goals or that. Like, it takes strategy, it takes planning, and it also takes execution and accountability. And a lot of times you can't do all of that on your end. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do every bucket on your end. You can create the plan, you can go ahead and execute it, but you might need somebody there for accountability. Or you might be a very accountable to yourself and know how to execute things, but you don't know what the plan is. You don't know what to do. Somewhere in that chain, you need help from somebody.
If you're doing it all, you're going to burn out.
And if you're doing it all, even if you can, you're going to burn out, because it's only one of you. It limits you. So yeah, I it's been a lot of things that's connecting for us, that's allowing us to be aggressive in 2025. I think that's the word. Like, it's investing season too, but we're gotten aggressive. You know what I mean? We're going for it. Like, we're shooting our shot. We're being aggressive. Like, and it's all been bubbling up over time. I would say even since we started the podcast and started coming in this room and talking to each other and putting our thoughts in a platform where it makes you want to go try to do it. Because you said it. You said it publicly. You know what I'm saying? And we're saying it to each other. We talk more, even though we always talked a lot. We do talk more about important things since we started Porter, for sure. I don't know if you noticed that, but like, we actually talk through more important things now that we're doing the podcast. Thank you, Jesus. Right. Thank you, Jesus, for that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be time checking me.
No, if I was time checking you, I'd look at the clock right there.
Excuse me. My bad. I got it wrong.
You need to be time checked sometimes. You know you long-winded.
Am I? It sounds like you like that.
It's all right.
Shut up. But nah, hey, look, man. It's been a beautiful 2024. This is our last episode of the year for 2024. 2024 was a good year. Next year is going to be a great year. If you're going into next year, you got dreams and you got hopes, and you need to be part of a community. We're going to keep saying this word, community. You need to be part of our community. This is a community where we talk about both the ups and downs of life, the good and the bad, in a very real and transparent way. If it's your first time listening to us today, you're seeing that. You know what I mean? We make mistakes. We do a lot of things well. We learn from each other, but we can also learn from you. We all can learn from each other to make ourselves better as we go through life together, because life is not easy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that person right next to you has got the answer that you need, but you would never know because there's no community and you're not talking to them. And we changing that. So if y'all enjoyed our podcast today, it's your first time listening, we appreciate y'all. For everyone that's been following our podcast since the beginning, or maybe you guys are joined since, as we go along, like this episode 54. And we appreciate y'all, everybody that's listening to us in different countries. Like, just to see that has been dope, to see that our reach is outside of the U.S. and it's in other countries that we would have never expected. Keep rocking with us, y'all. You're going to get to see true, organic, authentic growth from two people that have did it all from the ground up, officially from the ground up. You know what I mean? And we love y'all. Dax and Randy Show. I'm your host, Dax. This is my co-host, Randy. You know what I mean? Randy is about to take our life to a whole nother level in 2025. Make sure you follow her. She ain't just Randy from the Dax and Randy Show. She a superstar on her own. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you follow her. Can you plug your IG page for him, please?
Oh, it's at Miranda.Basden. Basden.
At Miranda.Basden. Make sure you follow her today. Even if y'all don't follow me, make sure you follow her. You'll know that you're on the right page because all you're going to see is a bunch of smiles, a whole bunch of kids, and a whole bunch of tax stuff and podcast stuff. It's going to say tax expert. That's exactly who she is. You know what I'm saying? Get accustomed to her and her brand. Rock out with her. Watch her grow this next year. You women out there, you got all these kids. You think your time is past. Your time is just starting. But you got to lock in with somebody that's did it the challenging way and that's still doing it. So make sure you follow Randy and make sure you follow our podcast, the Dax and Randy Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We on YouTube. We on Instagram, the Dax and Randy Show. We on TikTok, the Dax and Randy Show. Make sure you follow us, leave your comment, like the videos, share it with somebody. That's the only way that our podcast and our community is going to grow. We need y'all, and we know that you need us. We love y'all. Till next time. Peace. Make sure you follow the Dax and Randy Show on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on YouTube. Let us know what you're going through. This is the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. We want to hear from you, engage with you. Till next time, peace.